The night begins quietly. The city exhales, releasing the warmth of the day into the cool air that gathers along the streets. A pale mist drifts low across the cobblestones, carrying the faint scent of rain, smoke, and the slow breath of the river beyond. The sound of distant wheels fades into silence. The lamps glow softly, small circles of gold trembling against the fog. You stand at the edge of a narrow street where the stones shine wet beneath your feet. The air feels thick, yet gentle, as if the city itself is holding still. Somewhere a window closes with a quiet click. Somewhere else, a door opens and shuts, the sound softened by distance. The world is folding itself into rest. The light from the lamps slides across the walls in shades of amber and grey. It touches the edges of rooftops and disappears into the haze above. The clouds are low, reflecting the faint shimmer of the city beneath them. Everything moves slowly, as though time itself is caught in the fog, drifting without urgency. The air hums with quiet. It is the quiet of footsteps fading, of voices turning into memory. A cart rolls by, its wheels whispering over the stone. A horse exhales, steam rising and vanishing before it meets the lamp's glow. The sound fades, leaving only the rhythm of the night. You take a step forward. The sound of your foot on the cobblestone echoes softly, then melts into stillness. The mist curls around your legs, cool and weightless. Each breath carries the taste of coal smoke and damp air. The city smells alive, even in its sleep. It smells of stone washed by countless rains, of rivers carrying stories older than memory. The night deepens, not with darkness, but with calm. A soft breeze passes through, stirring the lamps just enough to make their flames waver. The fog folds in, then draws away again, moving like a slow tide. Every movement feels measured, deliberate, patient. It is a city breathing in rhythm with the earth. A faint sound of bells drifts through the air. They come from somewhere unseen, their tones long and low, drawn out over the rooftops. Each note lingers before dissolving into the mist. The sound feels timeless, echoing through the same streets for centuries. It fades, leaving a hollow warmth behind, a presence of something old and kind. You walk past a row of tall houses, their windows glowing faintly through the fog. Behind one, a curtain stirs, a candle swaying within. The flame bends and steadies, painting the glass in gold. You imagine the warmth of the room, the quiet ticking of a clock, the calm of a fire burning low. There is comfort in these small, unseen details. The city holds them close, hidden behind walls and whispers. The pavement glistens with reflected light. Each droplet of water catches a piece of the world and holds it before letting go. The sound of your steps merges with the hum of the river. You cannot see it yet, but it is there, moving patiently through the dark. A clock strikes once, a single note falling into silence. The sound fades quickly, replaced by stillness that feels deep and kind. The fog thickens until the world feels small, intimate, safe. Each step you take feels slower than the last, as though the night itself is guiding you toward rest. The rhythm of the city has become your own. The night has no beginning and no end. It is a gentle current carrying you through the mist. The stones beneath your feet have known centuries of footsteps, of rain, of quiet. The walls beside you have heard voices long gone, and they keep their secrets softly. The city drifts in its own dream. The lamps shimmer faintly. The fog moves like breath, and you walking through it become part of its calm. The night unfolds. The air softens. London breathes slow and warm. And somewhere within the fog, the first dream begins. The streets of London. The street stretches ahead like a long ribbon of stone, winding through the sleeping heart of the city. The fog has deepened, yet the lamps still glow, faint halos of light suspended in air. Their glow slides across the slick pavement, forming pools of gold that shift and shimmer when a gust of wind passes by. Every shadow seems alive, every echo soft, every detail wrapped in calm. You move forward slowly, your steps joining the rhythm that London keeps when no one is watching. The city's breath rises from the stones, mingling with the mist, turning the air thick and full. There is no hurry here. Time moves in long, slow circles, spreading outward from each lamp, from each footstep, from the pulse of life beneath the streets. Ahead, the road narrows between tall buildings. Their walls glisten with moisture, the bricks dark and damp, their windows dimmed by fog. The sound of water drips softly from a gutter above, each drop falling with quiet precision. A cat moves across the pavement, its shape sliding like smoke along the wall, before disappearing through an open doorway. The only other sound is your breath, steady and slow, blending with the faint hum of the city. London at night is not silent. It murmurs beneath the surface, low and constant. Far away, the river sighs, its voice faint but certain. Somewhere closer, a carriage wheel creaks, turning in the dark. The sound drifts through the fog, fading almost before it begins. Every note of it feels softened, as if wrapped in velvet. You pause beneath an archway where a narrow alley branches off. The air there is cooler, the stones uneven, worn smooth by countless steps. The smell changes too, a blend of rain and dust and distant smoke. The alley winds away into shadow, lined with shuttered windows and doors that seem to lean toward one another, as if sharing secrets. Somewhere inside, a candle burns low, its faint glow barely visible through a crack in the shutters. The flame flickers, then steadies, then disappears again into stillness. You return to the main street. The fog curls around your coat and trails behind you like fabric. Each step makes a small sound that disappears before it can echo. It feels as though the air absorbs everything, keeping the night hushed and kind. You begin to notice the texture of things, the way the stones glisten under the lamps, the way droplets cling to iron railings, the faint vibration of the ground beneath your shoes. It is not noise, but life, quiet and deep. A faint figure passes you in the fog, the outline of a man, his hat low, his coat brushing the edge of the pavement. He moves slowly, his lantern swinging at his side. Its light cuts a small circle through the mist, catching the shimmer of rain in the air. He nods as he passes, his footsteps fading behind you until they merge with your own. You turn once, and the light of his lantern is gone, swallowed whole by the fog. You walk past a row of shops, their windows dark, their signs faintly visible in the lamplight. Letters carved into wood, names half forgotten, paint peeling with age. Inside, the shelves are empty, but you can imagine the scent of bread, of tea, of tobacco that once filled the air. The echoes of daytime linger here, soft but present, folded into the quiet fabric of the night. Farther along, a public house sits at the corner, its windows dim but still aglow with warmth. A few figures remain within, their movements slow, their voices low and steady. The sound carries through the fog, broken and muffled, more tone than word. You hear the clink of a glass, the creak of a chair, and then laughter, faint and tired. The door opens for a moment, spilling golden light and warmth into the street before it closes again. The glow fades back into grey. The sound fades too, leaving only the faint echo of life that remains behind closed doors. The air feels softer here, heavy with warmth and rest. You pause to breathe it in. There is a sweetness beneath the coal smoke, the scent of rain on stone and wood, warmed by human hands. You feel the city's age in it, the weight of centuries compressed into each breath. It is a living thing, this night, slow, patient, filled with memory. The fog grows thicker as you move on. It blurs the edges of everything until the world becomes a series of soft shapes and shadows. The lamps are no longer points of light, but orbs, glowing like suns inside the mist. You can feel the moisture on your skin, fine and cold. Each droplet seems to hum faintly in the air, vibrating with the rhythm of the city's breath. You pass through a small square, the kind hidden behind larger streets. A few trees stand in its center, bare branches reaching into the grey. The ground glistens with rain. The benches are empty, their wood dark and smooth from years of use. You sit for a moment, feeling the cool stone beneath you. The world feels smaller here, quieter. The fog presses close, but it does not suffocate. It feels protective, as if it is keeping the world soft until morning comes. In the distance, a bell rings again, a softer tone this time, distant and uncertain. It fades quickly, its echo swallowed by the air. The silence that follows feels deep and endless.
Even the river seems to hold its breath.
You rise and continue walking. The streets twist and turn, their pattern familiar yet strange. Somewhere ahead, the faint sound of a street sweeper's broom brushes against stone. The sound is slow and rhythmic, a steady whisper marking the hours that pass unseen. You follow it, listening as it fades, then returns again, a heartbeat in the dark. The city around you changes. The buildings grow closer together, their walls leaning slightly inward. The lamps burn lower, their oil nearly spent. The air thickens with smoke from chimneys, drifting low and pale through the fog. You can see it moving like breath across the rooftops, caught by the faint light of the moon behind the clouds. A narrow passage opens to your left. You step inside and find yourself surrounded by stone and silence. The walls rise high, their surfaces marked by age and soot. Here the air feels older, heavier, carrying the scent of iron and time. Your footsteps echo faintly, then die. The passage bends, and when you emerge, the street opens again, wider, brighter. The lamps here are taller, their light steady and soft. You can hear the faint hum of the river again, closer now, constant as breath. You pause beside a railing and look down. The water below glows faintly, reflecting the scattered light of the lamps. A barge moves slowly through the current, guided by an unseen hand. The ripple it leaves behind widens, breaks the reflection into hundreds of shimmering pieces, then fades back into calm. The sound is soft, steady, ancient. The night has deepened further. The air feels denser, quieter, more complete. You look up, and the fog hides the stars, but the light from the city glows within it, a soft halo stretching above the rooftops. London looks as though it is floating, suspended between sky and river, wrapped in its own gentle breath. You turn away from the river and walk back toward the heart of the city. The streets curve and blend, each one leading into another, familiar and unknown. The lamps still burn, though their light is dimmer now, their oil nearly gone. The fog thickens once more, pulling the edges of the world inward until it feels as though you are walking inside a dream. The city hums beneath your feet.
You can feel it, not loud, not fast, just steady, as if the earth itself were breathing.
It is a soundless music woven from the rhythm of stone and air. You move in time with it, without meaning to, your steps falling in perfect silence. The night holds you close and you let it. The fog curls tighter around the lamps, around the corners of buildings, around you. Every part of the world seems softer now, its edges blurred, its light diffused. You reach out to touch the cool iron of a railing, and droplets gather on your fingers. The air smells faintly of the river again, mixed with rain and smoke. It is the scent of London at rest, the scent of history still breathing. You stop for a moment and look back. The street behind you glows faintly in the mist, each lamp a small sun burning through time. The air hums gently. You feel it move through you, through everything, unbroken and calm. The streets breathe, the lamps flicker. The fog holds every sound and softens every edge, and somewhere in this quiet, the night keeps its promise of rest. The River Thames. The air cools as the streets widen toward the river. The scent of smoke and rain gives way to water, clean and metallic, carrying the quiet breath of something vast. You can feel it before you see it, a deep stillness beneath the sound of the wind, a steady pulse beneath the silence. The fog opens slightly, and there it is. The Thames, wide, slow, alive, the water stretches into the mist, a mirror of shifting grey and gold. The surface moves gently, stirred by wind and tide, smooth as breath. Along the banks, the lamps glow in soft rows, their reflections trembling in the current like ribbons of light. The sound of the city grows faint here, muffled by distance and fog. Only the river remains, its voice low and eternal. You stand for a moment, still, letting the rhythm of the water fill you. It moves without hurry, carrying time itself downstream. Each ripple seems to whisper, each current a story told too softly to be heard. The air tastes of salt and iron, and something ancient, like the memory of rain that never ends. You walk toward the embankment. The stones underfoot are slick with mist, the railings cold to the touch. Drops slide down the metal and fall soundlessly into the river below. A faint hum lingers in the air, the sound of water against stone, the slow sigh of the tide turning.
The sound is steady, patient, endless.
A small boat drifts near the bank. Its wooden hull creaks softly, moving with the current. Inside, a lantern swings from a hook, its flames swaying with the rhythm of the water. The glow spills over the boat's edge, breaking into 1,000 tiny fragments on the rippling surface. You watch it drift away, the light growing smaller until it fades into the fog. The river feels alive. It moves with weight and memory, carrying the reflection of every light, every life that has passed across it.
Once it carried ships heavy with coal and grain, their sails thick with soot and sea air.
Now it carries nothing but time and mist, yet the sound remains the same, the low, eternal murmur of water moving toward the sea. The fog thickens again, rising like breath from the surface. It wraps around the lamps and the arches of bridges, softening every edge until the world becomes a watercolor dream. You hear the faint sound of a bell from somewhere beyond the fog. Its tone is deep and slow, a single note stretched thin by distance. It fades, leaving a hush that feels endless. You begin to walk along the river's edge. The path curves gently, following the water's quiet motion. Your footsteps merge with the rhythm of the current, the steady lapping of water against stone. Each step feels lighter, slower, as though the river's calm has reached inside you. You breathe in its quiet and feel it settle within your chest. On the far bank, the faint outline of warehouses appears, tall and grey, their windows faintly glowing behind the mist. Cranes stand motionless above them, their shapes softened by distance. The stillness makes everything seem suspended, frozen between worlds. The water below reflects their shadows, bending them into soft ripples that drift away and vanish. A gust of wind passes over the river, scattering the reflections. The lamps flicker, their light stretching and folding in the waves. For a brief moment, the water seems to shimmer like molten glass. Then the surface smooths again, calm and still. The sound returns, that slow, endless whisper that seems to fill the world. You pause beside a bridge. Its arches rise from the water, strong and quiet, disappearing into the fog above. Drops fall from the iron beams, hitting the surface below with delicate rhythm. The sound is gentle, like the ticking of an unseen clock, marking time that no one measures. A carriage crosses overhead, its wheels rolling softly, the echo carried by the mist. Then silence again, and the slow breathing of the river. You lean against the railing and look down. The light from the lamps trembles on the surface. A single feather floats past, turning slowly in the current before slipping beneath the bridge. The water folds around it and carries it away. There is something infinite in that motion, simple, effortless, inevitable. Further along, the path narrows. You pass an old mooring post, its rope damp and dark from the tide. A few steps more, and you reach a small landing where the stones meet the river's edge. You crouch there for a moment, touching the surface. The water is cold, yet it feels alive beneath your hand. It moves steadily, without haste, without end.
It feels like breathing.
The fog presses closer now, wrapping around your shoulders and hair, carrying the faint scent of salt and rain. It blurs the edges of everything until the world feels soft and endless. The lamps fade to distant orbs. The water beneath you glows faintly, reflecting what little light remains. The city feels far away, though it lies just beyond the mist. You close your eyes. The sound of the river fills everything, steady, deep, eternal. It is not just water, it is memory. It is the slow pulse of time itself. It has carried kings and beggars, soldiers and poets, dreams and dust. And tonight it carries you quietly, gently, without asking. When you open your eyes, the fog has shifted.
Shapes move within it, a barge gliding silently, a man walking along the opposite bank, his lantern glowing faintly through the mist.
The light sways with each step, then disappears behind the curve of the river. Only the ripples remain, widening, softening, fading back into stillness. You continue walking. The bridge recedes behind you, swallowed by the fog. Ahead, the path follows the bend of the river, lined with stone walls, slick with dew. You can see where moss grows in the cracks, where the water has touched and receded countless times. The scent of the tide clings to the air, wet wood, iron, and the faint sweetness of decay. Yet nothing about it feels unpleasant.
It feels alive, real, patient. The rhythm of your steps matches the rhythm of the tide. You feel as though the river has taken you into its own movement, pulling you along in silence.
The air hums softly. The world narrows to mist, light, and the slow music of water against stone. You think of all the nights the river has seen, all the lives reflected on its surface, and how it holds them all without a trace of weight. A single gull glides above the water, its wings cutting through the fog. Its reflection follows below, a faint shadow on the surface. It turns once, then disappears into the whiteness beyond. The sound of its cry lingers for a moment, soft and far away.
Then there is only the steady voice of the river again.
You reach another bridge.
This one lower, its arches lit by lamps placed close to the water.
You walk beneath it, where the sound changes, the echo of the tide deepens, the air cooler, denser. Drops fall steadily from the stones above, creating ripples that spread and vanish. For a moment, the world feels very small, contained within this space of stone and water and sound. Then you emerge again, and the city opens before you once more. Farther ahead, the embankment widens into a quiet square. A few trees stand along the edge, their branches heavy with mist. Benches line the path, each one slick with dew. You sit, feeling the cool surface beneath your palms, and listen. The river speaks softly, carrying its endless stories toward the unseen sea. You imagine them drifting away, voices, lights, footsteps, all becoming part of the same current. Time feels distant now. The city above you may still be awake, but here, at the river's edge, everything is slow. The fog thickens and thins in gentle rhythm, as if breathing with the water. You breathe with it.
Your pulse matches its flow.
The quiet wraps around you, and the night feels infinite. The lamps flicker as the wind shifts. The sound of the tide deepens, a soft drumbeat beneath the stillness. You can see the faint shimmer of dawnless light over the horizon. Not morning, not yet, just the reflection of the sleeping city above. The Thames glows faintly, silver and calm. It has seen centuries, and it will see centuries more, and tonight it dreams with you. You rise once more. The path continues, curving along the river's edge. Your footsteps fall in slow rhythm, merging again with the pulse of water. The fog closes behind you, leaving no trace, as though you were never there. But the river remembers. It always does.
The water moves,
The light fades, the air hums with the sound of sleep. And the river carries the dream onward into the heart of the night. Homes and quiet lives. The streets rise gently from the river. The mist follows, curling around the corners of brick buildings and sliding through narrow alleys where the light of the lamps grows faint. The air is still thick with the scent of water, but another smell begins to appear, the faint sweetness of coal and wood smoke, the warmth of homes tucked behind closed doors. The city feels closer here, not grand or wide, but small and human. The sound of the river fades behind you, replaced by the soft creak of shutters, the distant crackle of a fire, the quiet rhythm of living. You turn into a side street lined with terraced houses. Their windows glow softly, the light pale and golden through curtains that move slightly with the draft. The cobblestones are slick and uneven, glimmering faintly beneath the lamps. Somewhere, water drips from a roof, falling into a puddle with a rhythmic sound, steady and calm. It feels as though the whole city has drawn a long breath and decided to rest. Through the fog, a door opens. Warm light spills out into the night, carrying the scent of bread and wood and smoke. A figure stands briefly in the doorway, silhouetted by the glow inside. He steps out, pulls his coat tight, and walks down the street, his boots brushing the stones with a slow, even sound. When the door closes behind him, the light fades again, leaving a faint trace of gold on the mist. You continue walking. Each window seems to hold a story, silent but full. Behind one, a woman moves near a table, arranging something with careful hands. Behind another, a man sits in an armchair, the shape of a book resting open on his knees. A child leans sleepily against the window glass, the reflection of a candle flickering across her face. None of them see you. They belong to the quiet rhythm of the night, their lives moving gently inside these walls that hold the warmth of centuries. You pause beside a wrought iron fence.
Drops of water cling to its surface, each one holding the reflection of the lamp above like tiny pearls of light.
You run your fingers along it and feel the coolness of the metal, the faint vibration of the city beneath. It feels alive in its stillness. The fog moves through the narrow gaps between the bars, whispering softly against your sleeve. Farther ahead, the street widens into a small square. Trees stand bare at its center, their branches like dark lace against the pale sky. The ground beneath them shines faintly with dew. A bench sits nearby, its surface damp, its paint worn thin by time. You sit for a moment, and the sound of the city fades even further. Only the soft hum of the wind and the distant beating of the river remain. Across the square, more houses line the street, each with its own small flame of light. One window glows brighter than the rest, a fire burning behind its thin curtains. You can almost hear it crackle, though the sound never quite reaches you. The warmth is visible even from here, painting the fog around it in shades of gold and rose. You imagine the lives within a family gathered close, the sound of quiet voices, the faint rhythm of breathing in a room filled with heat and safety. You rise and walk again, your steps light against the cobblestone. The air feels softer now, filled with warmth that seeps through the cracks of windows and doors. The fog wraps around each house like a blanket, pressing close, holding everything still. You pass a narrow alley where laundry lines stretch above your head, empty now, swaying slightly in the wind. Drops slide from the ropes, falling onto the stones below in perfect rhythm. Somewhere nearby, a cat leaps onto a wall, its shadow crossing the light of a lamp before vanishing into the mist. The city breathes here, slowly, gently. Each house adds to that breath, each chimney sending out thin plumes of smoke that rise and fold into the night. The smell of burning wood and damp brick fills the air, comforting and familiar. The walls seem to hum softly, as though remembering every night before this one, every life that passed quietly through their doors. You reach a small shop at the corner, its shutters closed but its sign still visible in the lamplight. The letters are carved deeply into the wood, their edges smooth from years of rain and wind.
The name is simple, almost forgotten.
In the window, a few objects remain: a candle holder, a teacup, a single shoe polished to a dull shine. They sit behind glass clouded with dust and condensation, waiting for a dawn that will come slowly, gently, as it always does. A faint sound of footsteps approaches behind you. When you turn, you see an old man walking carefully through the mist, his lantern casting a small circle of light on the ground. He moves without haste, each step steady, each breath visible in the cold. He passes you with a nod and continues on his way, disappearing at the far end of the street. The glow of his lantern lingers for a few seconds, then fades like a thought into the fog. The houses here are smaller, pressed close together. The roofs lean toward one another, the chimneys rising like slender towers through the mist. Light flickers in some windows, but most are dark. You imagine the rooms beyond the quiet weight of sleep, the sound of slow breathing, the warmth of blankets drawn close. The night holds them all, gently, as if it knows their names.
A soft breeze moves through the street, carrying the smell of burning coal and rain-soaked earth.
It touches your face and passes on.
The lamps sway slightly, their light shimmering over the stones.
You can hear the faint sound of a clock somewhere, its chime long and low, counting the hour with patience. The sound drifts through the fog and dissolves. You turn another corner and find yourself on a narrower lane. The walls here are older, their surfaces rough and cracked, their bricks almost black with soot. The air feels heavier, filled with the residue of time. Yet even here, where the city feels ancient and worn, there is warmth. A window glows with candlelight, the curtain shifts, and for a moment you see the shadow of someone moving inside, their hand reaching toward the flame to adjust it. The candle wavers, then steadies, casting its small light into the fog. The glow reflects on the wet stones, spreading into a thin line that follows you as you walk. It seems to guide you forward, though you do not hurry. Every step feels quiet, deliberate. The city no longer feels vast. It feels close, alive, breathing with you. You pass by another row of houses. Their doors are painted in faded colors, deep green, brown, red, blue, the shades dulled by time. Brass knockers glint faintly under the lamps. The sound of wind moves gently through the street, rattling a loose shutter before fading again. A dog barks once, far away, then silence returns. The fog shifts again, soft and silver, moving like a living thing through the gaps between buildings. It catches the lamplight and scatters it into countless fragments that drift upward, glowing faintly before disappearing into the night. For a moment, it feels as though the city itself is breathing in light and exhaling sleep. You stop beneath a lamp. Its flame burns low, the glass around it fogged with moisture. The light touches your face, soft and pale. It feels warm despite the chill of the air. You look up, and through the fog you can see faint outlines of chimneys rising against the sky, their smoke curling like threads of silk. The sight is simple but beautiful. There is peace in it, the kind that asks for nothing and promises everything. The sound of the river reaches you again, faint and steady. It blends with the hum of the streets, the whisper of wind, the heartbeat of the city beneath. You realize how everything connects: the water, the stone, the breath of smoke, the warmth behind each window. They belong to one another, flowing together like the tide. It is a single, endless rhythm, and you are inside it. You walk a little farther until the houses begin to thin and the road curves gently downward. The fog opens slightly, revealing the faint shimmer of the river once more. The lamps along the embankment glow like constellations reflected in the water. You stop to watch. The light moves slowly with the tide, bending, breaking, reforming again. It feels like watching time breathe. Behind you, the houses stand silent. The fires burn low. The people inside sleep in quiet rooms, their dreams drifting with the mist above the rooftops. The city holds them all gently, the way the river holds the light. You stand there a while, listening to the water, to the wind, to the silence that wraps around everything. The air grows softer. The fog thickens once more, closing the distance between you and the world. The lamps shimmer faintly. The houses fade into shapes.
The night deepens, but it does not darken.
It glows quietly, like a thought that will not end. The windows fade. The smoke rises and the river breathes. And all of London drifts deeper into its quiet sleep. The factories and the fog. The streets draw you east, where the houses thin and the roofs lower. The smell changes before the view. Does coal, warm iron, oil, and damp brick. The night is the same night, but the air grows heavier, as if it carries the memory of a long day that never truly ends. Fog drifts in sheets, slow and pale, slipping around chimney stacks and settling along the yards. The lamps burn lower here, yet their light feels closer to the ground, wide and patient, like hands held out to guide your steps. Brick walls rise in long lines, dark with age and weather. Windows look back with dull glass and fading steam. The silence is not complete, not here, not where work sleeps with one ear open. A piston breathes somewhere inside, a low pulse that fades and returns, a steady tide in a hidden room. The sound does not hurry you. It folds into the fog and lets the night remain unbroken. You pass an iron gate that stands ajar. Beyond it, a yard opens wide, carts and barrels resting where they were left, ropes hanging loose, puddles gathering in the cracks of stone. A trail of steam drifts from a vent near the ground. It rises and disappears like breath on a winter morning. The scent is simple and true, metal and water and heat cooling down. Along the yard stands a long shed with a roof of tin. Drops of mist bead and fall in slow rhythm. Inside, something ticks, not a clock, only a warm machine settling into stillness. You listen. For a moment it sounds like rain that forgot to begin. The fog moves across the open space, drawing everything into one quiet picture. A wheel leans against timber, a chain lies coiled beside a post. Oil catches the faint light and lets it go. Each detail is enough. You walk on. A row of chimneys stands in the distance, each one a quiet column in the grey. A thin ribbon of smoke unspools from one, and joins the cloud above. It does not stain the sky. It goes where the night asks it to go. Past the yard, a narrow lane slips between two buildings. The air cools, the stone grows smoother. On one wall, a door stands half open. Warmth comes from the gap, carrying iron and soap and the scent of wood. Inside, the light is low and steady, a flame behind glass. Shadows have weight in that light. They soften the corners and rest like cloth over a sleeping shape. A bench sits by the door, an apron folded, still damp, waiting for hands that will return before dawn. Beside it, a pair of boots, laces loose, leather faintly shining. No one is here. And yet nothing feels empty. Everything is paused at the right moment. The lane opens into a wider street. The factories stand there like ships in a fog harbored on land. Tall windows, brick walls, iron gutters, silent cranes leaning over the roofs. A watchman stands beneath a lamp, coat drawn to his boots. His lantern draws a circle on the stones. He nods as you pass and lowers his head again, his breath rising in small clouds that vanish before they fall. You come to a canal behind the buildings. The water is dark, yet it mirrors the lamps with perfect calm. Every light floats on its surface, shivering once, then steady. A small barge rests against a post, ropes crossed, deck swept, a bucket turned upside down. The barge looks at peace, large and silent, a creature without need to speak.
A bell taps once when the fog stirs, a sound so small it feels made only for you.
The canal carries its own quiet. No wind moves here, only the gentle push of water from a lock far away. A rhythm you can feel in your feet. You follow it, your steps falling into its slow measure. The night loosens its coat and lays it across your shoulders. Across the canal, a long facade of glass and iron glimmers faintly. Inside, machines rest, belts hang still, a broom leans into a corner. Nothing moves, a book lies closed on a desk, a pencil across its cover. Everything waits for light to return. You reach a bridge of iron and wood. The boards give a soft answer to your step, not a creak, only a note rounded by damp air. Under the bridge, the canal deepens and turns, the banks drawing in. A lantern hangs from a beam, its reflection trembling on the current. Tiny eddies appear and fade, leaving no trace, yet showing where the water goes. Beyond the bridge, the fog thickens again.
Shapes blur.
Lamps seem nearer than they are and farther than they feel. You breathe, and the breath belongs as much to the night as to you. An open yard appears, broad and low, where carts once gathered when the day was strong.
Now there are only two, their shafts tipped to the ground, their wheels polished by years.
Rain has drawn a fine skin over the wood, a shining that holds each lamp like a pearl. On one cart, a folded canvas, corners wet, middle dry. Under it, sacks rest easy, their weight a thought turned to sleep. Beside the yard stands a pump. A tin cup hangs from a loop, beaded with drops that have not yet fallen. You touch the handle. It is cold and smooth and holds the memory of many hands. You do not lift it. The cup shines without moving. The moment is complete. At the far edge, a door opens. A worker steps out, sets down a bucket, looks up, then closes the door with care. The click blends with the fog and becomes silence before it can echo. You walk again. A row of chimneys rises ahead, their tops fading into cloud. The lamps here are far apart. Between them, the world becomes one long room where the walls are air and the floor is stone and your steps are the clock. A factory wall runs for a city block. In the middle of it, a door stands closed. Above it, a window glows faintly. Dust moves in the light, slow and generous, turning and settling with the faint breath of the place. You stand and watch. The light rests along your cheek as if to say you may continue.
Beyond it, the road bends and shows a smaller building made of brick and timber.
Through its window, a lamp burns. A coat hangs from a peg, the sleeves heavy with damp. On the floor, a line of sand catches the wet that creeps beneath the door and asks nothing more than to be swept away when morning comes. A cat crosses the road, silent and sure. It turns one ear and moves on, its paws leaving prints that fade as the mist lays down. The small truth of it warms the air. You arrive at another canal, narrower than the first. A lock sits closed, its beams pale with age. Water gathers and spills in thin threads, making music too soft to name. It is water, doing what water does. The fog deepens here, and it hangs like a curtain from gate to surface, leaving a doorway of air beside the towpath. You stand within it and breathe the mix of cold stone and warm steam. Your chest loosens. Your shoulders fall. The night has found its right size and offers it to you like a blanket. You cross the lock and follow the towpath until the buildings fall away. A crane rests with its chain hanging straight, each link a dark oval of quiet strength. Beside it, a pile of bricks sits in tidy ranks, their edges softened by dew. A wheelbarrow waits, one tire sunk in a shallow puddle that holds a perfect lamp and nothing else. You kneel to watch the light tremble when the fog breathes. It holds, then moves, then holds again. It is enough to watch. Beyond the yard, another gate opens. The lane returns you to the long backs of the factories. The walls carry a line near the ground where the rain has splashed for many seasons. Above that line, the brick is dark. Below it, the brick is darker. It is a ledger kept by water and time. You pass a door with a small grill. Warm air slips through it with the sound of a sleeping room. No voices come, only the low thrum of a boiler keeping its promise. You rest your palm on the wood and feel the quiet heat beneath. The lane bends again and meets the larger road where the chimneys gather. You pause and look back. The fog hides your path and leaves only a suggestion of where you've been. There is no need to fix them. The night remembers. You carry the sound and the warmth with you. Ahead, the road widens into a quay on the river. Cranes stand along the edge, their hooks at rest, their cabins dark. Coils of rope lie drying on the stones, pale as sleeping snakes. The river moves with a deeper tone here, faster, stronger, urging itself onward. You lean on the railing, the iron cool beneath your hands. Lights from the opposite bank appear and soften as the fog decides. A barge passes, low in the water, a single lamp on its bow. No sound of engine, only the rub of hull against current. The lamp draws a ribbon on the water and leaves it there until the tide unweaves it. You feel the motion, but do not move. The night moves for you. You think of the rooms behind the walls, the benches, the aprons, the boots, the rags folded by taps. You think of the hands that will return before dawn, the first match struck, the first door opened to let warm air in. The rhythm will rise again like a tide, and yet none of it troubles this quiet. The factories sleep. The fog keeps watch. The river carries the weight that is not heavy. You breathe, and the night breathes with you. When you turn away, the lamps along the quay seem nearer. Their circles overlap, and the stone glows a little brighter. You walk through them, your shadow trailing behind, a companion made of light. The road climbs back toward the homes. The pulse of the works fades until it becomes a feeling instead of a sound. Coal and iron give way to bread and wool. You pass beneath a last wall and the fog lifts a little, taking the weight with it. You do not notice the moment it happens. You notice only that breathing has become easier, and your hands are warm inside your sleeves. At the corner, a lamplighter's ladder leans against a post. No one stands near it. The flame within the glass is small and sure.
Drops gather on the rungs and fall in a slow chain to the pavement.
You touch the ladder once, feel the faint grain of the wood like a heartbeat. The factories remain where they are, steady and complete. The fog returns to them as you leave, pulling their outlines into the same soft page where the rest of the city rests. You carry their quiet with you, a weight so light it feels like breath. The night accepts it and makes room. You walk the last stretch toward the homes. Behind you, the works sleep on. Before you, the windows begin to glow again. Between them, the river keeps its patient counsel. And all of it moves without haste. The chimneys fade into cloud. The yards settle under the fog. The water takes the sound and smooths it thin, and the city, warm at the edges, turns one more time towards sleep. Nightfall over the city. Night gathers its full weight now. The last breath of the day has long faded into the quiet hum of the city, and everything moves with the rhythm of sleep. The river lies beneath its veil of fog, a body of glass that bends every light it touches. The lamps along the embankment burn lower, their glow softening to the color of honey. The air is thick but kind, folding itself around the rooftops and chimneys, like a woolen coat laid gently across a resting shoulder. The streets above the water curve through the city like slow veins of gold. From here, where the high path meets the edge of the hill, you can see the pattern of light stretch into the mist, 1,000 small circles pulsing in steady time. The sound of carriages has vanished, the shouts of workers have drifted into memory, and the air itself seems to rest. Only the soft murmur of water against stone, the sigh of the wind through empty alleys, and the faint tick of cooling metal remain. You walk slowly, feeling the quiet settle deeper with each step. The cobblestones are slick beneath your boots, polished by mist and time. Every corner holds a pocket of warmth where a lamp burns low, each doorway a shape of shadow and faint light. The city feels both vast and close, as if every street you have walked has been waiting for you to return. Even the fog seems to recognize your breath, moving with you, never ahead or behind. You pass beneath an archway and find yourself in a narrow lane where the sound of the river disappears completely. The air here is still, heavy with smoke and something sweet. The scent of baked bread, faint but lingering, rising from a shop closed hours ago. A few windows remain lit, their curtains drawn, their edges glowing softly like the memory of a flame. You pause beneath one, listening. Inside there is only silence, the kind that feels alive, full of breathing and sleep. A cat crosses the street, its paws silent, its fur glistening with dew. It pauses to look toward you, then moves on without hurry, tail low, vanishing through an iron gate. You smile without knowing why. The moment passes as easily as it came. It leaves behind a small echo of warmth, as though the city itself had turned its head in its sleep and settled again. The lamps grow dimmer the farther you walk. The air thickens with fog that swirls around your knees and climbs toward your chest, soft and cool, alive with its own rhythm. Your breath joins it, rising in small clouds that drift away before you see them fade. Somewhere, a bell rings, once not a warning, not an hour, only a note carried by distance, round and slow. The sound stretches across the rooftops, disappears into the mist, and the world grows quiet again. You reach a small bridge that crosses a narrow street. From here you can see rooftops stretching in every direction, their tiles wet, their chimneys trailing faint ribbons of smoke. The city below glows as if lit from within, 1,000 small fires hidden behind the fog. Each one flickers and softens, moving with the pulse of the air. You rest your hands on the railing, cold metal slick beneath your palms, and watch the mist drift like slow tides across the rooftops. The fog moves with purpose, as if it knows each roof, each window, each door, and has chosen to rest here for the night. The moon tries to rise behind the cloud, a pale shape, thin and unsure. It touches the fog once, turns the air silver, then disappears again. Its light remains for a while, diffused and calm, coloring the mist the way memory colors thought. The lamps below echo it, their reflections dancing in puddles along the street. Each ripple moves like a sigh. You continue walking and the air changes again. It tastes faintly of smoke and rain, sharp but clean. You can hear the quiet buzz of distant lamps, the faint hiss of gas running through pipes, a whisper of pressure that hums beneath the silence. It feels like the heartbeat of the city itself, slow, steady, patient. The fog thickens again, but it does not hide the world. It softens it, smooths every edge until nothing seems to begin or end. Ahead, a clock tower rises through the mist. Its face glows faintly with light, hands still, unmoving. Perhaps the mechanism has stopped, or perhaps the air has slowed so much that even time chooses to rest. The bell within the tower is silent, but the sight of it is enough a monument to hours that no longer matter. The fog slides around its base like a river made of air, and the city breathes through it. You pass through another street where the homes grow closer, smaller, older. Their walls lean slightly, their doors narrow, their windows small and high. A faint glow seeps from within them, and the smell of soup and burnt coal still lingers outside. The cobblestones here are uneven, the puddles deep. When you walk, the sound of your footsteps echoes softly, like someone walking in a dream beside you. You slow your pace and let the rhythm guide your breath. You find a bench beneath a street lamp and sit. The wood is cold but smooth. You lean back, tilt your head, and watch the air above. The fog moves in delicate layers, each one shifting at its own speed, each one catching light in a slightly different hue. It feels like watching music without sound, motion without purpose, the quiet made visible. You close your eyes for a moment, and the rhythm continues inside you. When you open them again, the fog has grown brighter. It is not dawn, not yet, only the city's own glow rising through the mist. It wraps the world in a faint halo, golden at the edges, silver where the air is thin. You can see the faint outline of bridges in the distance, their arches half hidden, their lamps reflected on the water below. The city looks softer from here, as though it were exhaling a long and gentle dream. A carriage moves slowly down a far street, its wheels whispering against the stones. The sound arrives after the sight, rolling through the fog like a memory. It passes, turns and fades, then the world closes around the silence again. Every sound that follows the creak of wood, the drop of water, the faint breath of wind folds into the same unbroken note. The air cools further. The lamps tremble in their glass. A thin mist of drizzle begins to fall, not rain, not quite. It drifts sideways in the wind, soft and slow, clinging to your coat, gathering on your hands like silk. You can taste it on your lips, clean and faintly bitter. The sound it makes against the stones is a whisper, a hush over a hush, barely enough to mark the night. You pull your collar closer and listen. The sound continues, small and endless, the quiet made even quieter. Far above, the city hums in sleep. Chimneys release faint threads of steam that merge into the sky. Windows glow and fade as the fog shifts, and the outlines of roofs blend into one long curve of shadow. You imagine the people inside, the gentle rise and fall of breathing, the slow turning in beds, the quiet ticking of clocks that no one hears. You imagine the whole city lying still beneath its cover of mist, dreaming the same dream, a single thought made of warmth and silence. You rise and walk once more. Your steps are slower now, as though the air itself has grown thicker. The streets are empty but alive, filled with the presence of things unseen. A closed shop window holds your reflection for a moment, soft and blurred, your face ghosted by fog. Behind the glass, shadows of bottles and jars stand in neat rows, frozen in time. The faint light from the lamp above turns the glass to liquid gold, rippling with every shift of air. The drizzle stops and the air becomes still again, thick with the scent of wet stone. You turn down another street and find yourself among taller buildings again, the sound of the river returning as a soft heartbeat beneath the fog. You follow it, guided by instinct more than sight. The world narrows until it becomes only this, the sound of your breath, the rhythm of your steps, and the voice of water that hums from far below. When the river appears again, it feels larger than before. The fog has lifted slightly above its surface, leaving a band of open air where the reflections of lamps stretch and shimmer. The current moves slow and dark, but the ripples catch every fragment of light, scattering them like fragments of memory. The bridges stand silent, their shapes soft and rounded. Beneath one, a figure rows a small boat, the oars dipping soundlessly into the water. Each stroke leaves a trail of silver that fades before the next begins. You stop and lean against the railing, watching. The movement is slow, hypnotic, endless. The fog curls around the boat, wrapping it in a soft cocoon until it vanishes completely. Only the faint trace of ripples remains, spreading outward until they dissolve into the current. It feels as if the night has taken the shape of the river and begun to move through it, carrying the whole city within its flow. The air hums with faint sound, not quite wind, not quite water, only the voice of stillness itself. It fills every space, moves through every shadow, and you feel it settle inside you. There is no need for words here, no need for thought. Only the quiet and the slow rhythm that holds it together. You stand for a long time, though time has lost its meaning. The city around you drifts deeper into itself. The fog thickens and thins again, breathing with you, matching your pace. The lamps flicker once, twice, and steady. The sound of the river grows soft and low. Everything slows until it becomes one continuous motion, one endless breath, one quiet note that never stops. You begin to walk back toward the heart of the city. The streets are lighter now, glowing faintly from the fog itself. The lamps no longer seem like fire, but like memory, gentle and old. Each step carries you through that glow, through the mist that smells of water and stone. The night is not ending, but it has begun to rest. You turn once more to look behind you. The river is hidden again, the fog thick over its surface, the lamps reduced to trembling halos. The sound of water is distant, but you know it continues, flowing, breathing, carrying. You take a breath and the air feels soft and endless. Every sound around you, the whisper of wind, the faint hum of a lamp, the breath in your chest belongs to the same rhythm. The city lies beneath its blanket of fog. The lamps drift. The water breathes, and the night folds everything into its dream. Dreaming streets. The city sleeps in its own breath now. Every lamp burns softer, every shadow folds itself closer to the ground. The river hums beneath its blanket of fog, and the streets have become slow currents of light and silence. You walk as if moving through a dream already begun. Each step lighter than the one before, each breath slower, deeper, quieter. The air carries the faint smell of rain, though the rain has long since stopped. It lingers in the stones, in the mortar of the walls, in the wooden doors that breathe out warmth from within. The sound of your steps is the only sound left, and even that grows gentle, as though the city itself has chosen to match your pace. The fog curls around the lamps and turns them into halos. The light drifts upward, shimmering in layers, blending with the low clouds above. For a moment, the air looks alive, a soft ocean made of gold and smoke. The night is not dark here, it is deep but never heavy. It carries you without weight, like a tide that has learned how to sing without sound. You pass a row of closed shops, their windows dim, their signs faintly shining with the last trace of lamp glow. The words are almost unreadable now, softened by mist and time. A bakery, a tailor, a bookseller. Each one holds its own small story. Behind the glass, 1,000 nights folded into memory. Inside, the shelves sleep, the air rests, the silence thick as velvet. The street narrows and turns. It leads you past an iron gate, where ivy clings to the bars, slick with dew. Behind it, a small courtyard lies hidden, a world of stillness within stillness. A single lantern burns there, hung from a hook above a doorway. Its light sways in the faint breeze, tracing a rhythm that belongs only to the night. The flame bends, straightens, bends again, and the shadows move with it, slow and alive. The fog presses closer as you walk. You can feel it on your skin, cool and damp, a living thing that knows how to hold without touching.
The city feels both near and far. Every wall an echo, every step a memory. You do not need to know where the road leads.
The air itself will carry you there. The sound of the river returns, faint and steady, like breath beneath the floor of the world. You follow it without meaning to, turning through quiet lanes where the lamps thin out and the fog thickens.
The stones grow darker, the air colder, yet softer still.
A faint glimmer of light rises ahead, not from fire, not from stars, but from the mist itself, gathering the glow of every lamp and sending it upward into a low, silver haze that covers the sky. You stop and watch it move. It is not quick, not slow, only endless. Every motion folds into the next, and the city breathes through it. Somewhere behind you a bell rings once, low and long, a note that carries no hour, no meaning, only presence. It travels through the fog like a ripple on the river, then fades into air. You turn into a broader street, and the world opens again. Here the fog glows brighter, lit from below by the hidden lamps of unseen houses. Their windows are vague shapes, soft and golden, each one pulsing faintly, as though the rooms themselves are breathing. You can almost hear the quiet within the ticking of a clock, the sigh of a chair settling, the whisper of sleep. The city is alive in its dreaming, every wall and roof filled with warmth that does not fade. You walk along the center of the street. The lamps stretch ahead, a long line of light that disappears into the fog. It feels like walking through a corridor made of air, endless and kind. Each light touches the mist, and the mist returns it, scattering it like dust across the stones. You pass through it all, slow and even, carried by rhythm, guided by silence. Farther on, the fog grows thin again. Through it, you glimpse a courtyard filled with rainwater, a mirror of the night sky. The lamps around it tremble in its surface, their reflections stretching and breaking with the smallest breath of wind. The water moves just enough to show that time still exists.
You stand and watch until the ripples fade and the surface stills.
In that stillness, the city feels infinite. A breeze passes through. It carries the scent of flowers from a nearby garden, faint, forgotten, yet alive even here in the chill of night. It moves past you, brushing your coat, touching your hands, then disappears down the street. The air behind it feels lighter, emptied and new. You walk again, and the fog returns, slower this time, gentler. It moves like a living memory, shaping the air around your steps. It hides what is behind you, softens what lies ahead, and holds what is near. You can see only what you need to see, and that is enough. You come upon a small bridge that crosses a narrow stretch of the river. The water beneath it moves without sound, smooth as glass, reflecting the faint glow of the city above.
You stop in the center and rest your hands on the cold stone rail.
The surface feels damp but solid, old but kind. The current moves beneath, carrying with it the light of lamps and the weight of dreams. You stay there, breathing in the cool air, letting the sound of water blend with the rhythm of your heart. Each beat feels slower, steadier, softer. The fog rises from the water and wraps around you. It lifts the scent of the river, a mix of earth and time, and folds it into the quiet. The world feels endless and small at once. You look across the river. But there is no far bank now, only light and mist. The city dissolves into itself, a body of silver breathing in sleep. You could stand here forever and nothing would change. You could close your eyes and the world would hold you. When you open them again, the lamps are dimmer. The fog has deepened. The sound of the river has softened to a whisper. You know the night is nearing its quietest point, the hour when even the dreams of the city begin to sleep. You turn away from the river and walk one last time through the streets. The stones glisten faintly beneath your feet. The lamps above you shimmer through the fog. The houses lean close, their windows glowing faintly, each one a soft pulse of life. The air grows warmer near the walls, and you can feel the warmth of the people within, their breathing steady, their sleep deep. The fog begins to part, just enough to show the faint outline of a clock tower in the distance. Its hands are motionless, frozen at some forgotten hour. The light from below reaches its base and fades before it climbs the face. You watch it for a long time, the stillness of it, the grace. Time does not matter here, only rest does. You continue walking, though the road no longer feels like a road. The air itself carries you forward. The fog grows softer, the lamps fainter, the world quieter. Every sound, every motion, every breath slows until there is only one rhythm, the pulse of the night, wide and endless. You come to a small square lined with trees. Their branches are bare, their outlines sharp against the glow of mist. Drops of water cling to their tips, catching light like tiny stars. When the breeze moves through them, the drops fall, slow and silent, landing softly on the stones below. You walk through the square and the sound of your steps blends with the sound of falling water. It is the sound of the night itself, the last lullaby of the city.
The lamps here are few and far apart.
Their glow is faint, their flames small and steady. The fog drifts between them in long ribbons, rising and falling like the tide. You feel the air changing, softening, as though the world is exhaling after a long, quiet day. The warmth of the city wraps around you one last time, and you know it will remain even after you are gone from its streets. You stop and look up. The fog has lifted slightly, and through it the faint outline of the moon appears again, a pale silver disk surrounded by cloud. It glows without brightness, a light that asks for nothing. It touches the rooftops, the chimneys, the quiet river beyond. It turns the mist to silk and the city to dream. You close your eyes. The sound of the river fades. The hum of the lamps softens. The world narrows to breath, slow and full. The fog moves through you now, no longer cold, no longer separate. You are part of the night, part of the rhythm, part of the dream. The lamps breathe softly.
The city sleeps.
The river hums below. And the streets, filled with silence, drift beyond time. A warmth rises through the air. It is not from fire or sun, but from the city itself, from the quiet hearts within it. You can feel it beneath your hands, beneath your breath, beneath your thoughts. It carries you gently, the way the river carries light. The fog thins one last time. The lamps fade, their flames bowing low. The streets lie open and still. The sound of the night is nothing but the sound of rest, and within that rest you feel the world begin to dissolve into dream. The streets of London sleep. The water moves beneath, the air holds everything that has been and everything yet to come. The city belongs to its silence now, and you belong to the city. The fog drifts, the lamps dim, the night deepens, and all of London dreams. Tonight you have wandered far enough.
Now, rest and dream of any place you wish to go.
London will still be here when morning comes and you awaken.